I don't know if I've been living under a rock, but what we're about to watch, review, and react to is something I totally missed. And OMG. Get ready. Make sure you guys do what you need to do with the video to help it get spread around, and let's get into it.
I've heard someone ring my doorbell repeatedly, and I saw two young African American guys.
Are you able to read that copy well enough that you can tell us if it's in fact the same letter?
No,
Are you unable to read that at all?
I don't understand. Curses.
You know, if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon.
It's Juneteenth, and regardless of how dumb I think this holiday is, since Black people love Juneteenth so much, I figured we'd talk Black history. And not just any Black history, specifically Trayvon Martin. Because to be honest, most people still don't know what actually happened. The average person thinks a racist man hunted down a kid and racially profiled him just because he was angry and hateful. This sweet, innocent kid was just getting some Skittles. He wasn't bothering anybody. He was basically just walking on water, and here comes this racist white Hispanic just filled with hate, ready to take out all his frustrations on this Black boy, simply because he was Black. And apparently that's all the motive the media needed, because that's the story they sold, and we all bought it. And quite frankly, this wasn't just a tragedy. It was a script, and the media ran with it like it was gospel. Before Trayvon, most of us weren't thinking about race like that. After Trayvon, the whole country got split in half. Protests, riots, Black Lives Matter, and a permanent scar on the national conversation. But the problem is, most of us were young. We didn't read court transcripts. We didn't know what was left out. We just reacted. We took the edited story and ran with it. And the damage is still here. We're more divided than ever. And if you think this only set back Black Americans, you're wrong. This drove a wedge between all of us as Americans. And it completely warped how we see ourselves in this country and how we see each other. Because this was never about George Zimmerman. This was about using a tragedy to push a narrative.
I think I understand why a lot of people were talking about this and that with Zimmerman and all this stuff, and he's somewhere living fine. Once you hear and see the things in this video, you're going to feel bad at how manipulated we were. The power of media, editing, and things like that. OMG.
And the facts don't matter because emotions do. And let's not forget, this all had a presidential stamp on it. Yeah, you guys are in for a rude awakening. I'm Carmen JC. Hit the like button because the truth matters and more people need to hear it. Let's get into it. The fact that they were able to sell us this story so easily actually makes me question reality. One photo, one headline, and they had the whole country marching. That's how fast they control us when we don't ask questions. Trayvon Martin was not a saint. I would argue he was a hoodlum. They told us a story and it started with a photo. That was the point. They needed you emotional before you were informed. So when the truth came out, nobody cared. Let's begin with the truth. Trayvon Martin wasn't the person they packaged and printed on the protest signs. And if we're aiming for truth and not emotions, we need to start there. Because once a lie feels good enough, people protect it like it's scripture. So let's start with the images they shoved down our throats and the ones they quietly ignored. Let's take a look at the first set of images. Look at the first photo. Trayvon in a red Hollister t-shirt, clean baby face, looking innocent, like he just got back from a summer camp, probably watching Power Rangers and collecting Pokemon cards. Then you've got a hoodie photo. He looks extremely young. You know they picked this one to pull on your heartstrings because it fits the narrative, it fits the outrage, and most people never look past it. They think that was the boy who got shot, that size, that young, that innocent.
Some people say that when things go on and it's people with our community, that they pick the worst photos to use of them. In this scenario, I can see what she just said being a thing, because they did pick these innocent photos, but the photos you're about to see, come on, man. And we haven't even gotten to the audio yet. The power of the media is a strong thing.
In the third photo, him in a flight school jumpsuit smiling, that was the one they slapped on Wikipedia. It was from 2009, which means he had to be 13 or 14 in that picture. And it actually proves my entire point. They picked those photos because they made him look innocent. It was emotional manipulation. They didn't want us to think because feelings are easier to control. Now, here's what they didn't want you to see. These are photos Trayvon Martin shared on his social platforms himself. In the first photo, he has a grill in his mouth, flashing it with a cocky look on his face. In the second photo, he's throwing up both middle fingers with zero hesitation, and clearly his mom wasn't checking what he posted because it's still out there, plain as day. In the third photo, he's shirtless with a fitted cap, mean mugging the camera. This wasn't a boy headed to college. This was a boy broadcasting dysfunction. This is what he chose to show the world. This is the life he was leaning into. And I'm just going to say it. He was a hoodlum. Where were the parents? Where were the adults? Because this is what happens when a kid grows up in a broken home. No structure, no consequences, no value, no care. Which leads us to how Trayvon Martin even ended up in that neighborhood. He didn't live there. He was sent there to stay with his dad because he got suspended from school for the third time in just a few months. He was suspended for things like drug residue in his backpack, tagging school property. He was caught with a burglary tool and a bag of women's jewelry, which leads you to believe that the jewelry was stolen. Now, that is not proven, but that is what happened. He was also fighting, skipping class, disrespecting officers. That is not a coincidence. That is a pattern.
I feel like we might have been fed things, you guys, and they were for purposes of passing an agenda. It was a motive behind it. They played with our minds and hearts.
And when he found out he had to go stay with his dad, he texted one of his friends. Let's take a listen to that exchange coming directly from Joel Gilbert's documentary. Take a listen.
After he was kicked out by his mother, Trayvon's friend Ayana Fleming, tried to warn Trayvon, but he wasn't listening. My mom kicked me out. The police caught me out of school. So you just turning into a little hoodlum. Nah, I'm a gangster. Boy, don't get one planted in your chest. Haha, I'm scared. You should be.
His exact words, I'm a gangsta. I didn't say it. He said it. And clearly he was just about into everything you don't want your child to be into. He wasn't just heading to the store for candy. He had previously been trying to score lean, trying to get high. Let's take a listen to that exchange coming directly from Joel Gilbert's documentary. Take a listen.
Trayvon was into lean to get high. The ingredients included cough syrup, a soft drink, and candy.
Cough medicine contains dextromethorphan, a dangerous hallucinogenic.
Trayvon was trying to score codeine from his friend Mackenzie Bakash. You know, a connect for codeine. I had it before. Just use Robitussin and soda to make some fire-ass lean. Codeine is a higher dose of DXM.
I'm about to be 100 with y'all. In my days back with Amigos and stuff like that, they used to call me the lean on me man. I'm gonna just leave it at that. But for him to know DXM and things, I didn't even know that. And I had every type there almost was. Colors and things like that. Ask QC, ask Amigos, ask Rich, ask Johnny Cinco, yeah. Come on, man. This dude was in too deep.
Now, whether that was the plan for that day, it's not clear. But I do know this. This ain't some little kid that needs to be celebrated. Because if you thought that was bad, oh, it gets worse. Trayvon was also out here texting about guns, trying to buy one, selling them. And you want to know why? Because of his words, not mine. He's a gangster. Like I said, he's a hoodlum, and this is hoodlum behavior. Let's take a look at this clip of Trayvon Martin exchanging messages about guns from the Trayvon Hoax documentary. Take a listen.
A week before his death, his text messages showed that guns and gun dealing were coming into play for Trayvon. Dario was Darius Morrow. On Facebook, he went by D Stacks. You got heat? I got a bill right now for some fi. A bill was $100 and fi meant firearms. Quay was Trayvon's cousin, Ronquavius Fulton. He was in on the gun dealing too. You want a .22 revolver? What shooter? Tell fool I got 80 for him right now.
And there you have it. They didn't just sell you a story, they sold you a fantasy. They edited photos, they buried the facts, and they handed you a narrative built to spark outrage. Because outrage gives them power. Trayvon Martin wasn't the innocent saint they printed out on the protest sign. He was a troubled teenager in a broken system coming from a broken home, especially when you consider this. His father was a criminal informant. He was a former drug trafficker, and he was a member of the Crips gang, very close to the streets, and that's exactly the problem. We keep trying to blame white supremacy for every broken outcome instead of blaming the people who should actually be held accountable. the parents.
Hold the parents accountable for sure. It was a lot of people talking about that his parents were Freemasons and this and that and the third, and I'm not sure about that aspect of it, but I do see an agenda that was. It's not even there was just underlined motives with their actions, and they made it seem like it was just this sweet innocent little child that just got caught up in the wrong person's sights. When we get into the rest of this video, y'all, you're gonna be if you're not looking at it already totally different. You're gonna see it totally different.